Most people grow up believing one simple truth: fish is always healthy. It is recommended by doctors, praised in magazines, and passed down as good food from one generation to the next. For decades, fish has been associated with heart health, brain strength, and long life. And for a long time, that advice made sense. But after the age of 60, something critical changes, not in the fish itself, but in your body. The human body does not age evenly. Some systems slow quietly, others become more sensitive, and a few lose their margin for error altogether. The liver detoxifies more slowly than it once did. The kidneys filter less efficiently. The gut becomes more vulnerable to disruption. And the nervous system becomes far more sensitive to toxins that once passed through unnoticed. This is why many people over 60 begin to feel subtle changes they cannot explain. A little more fatigue than usual, slight memory lapses, brain fog that comes and goes, sleep that no longer feels deeply restorative, joints that ache longer after activity. These changes are often brushed off as just aging, but in many cases, they are signals, quiet warnings that the body is under a burden it can no longer easily manage. Diet plays a much bigger role here than most seniors realize. And fish, the food many rely on to protect their health, can either support aging systems or quietly strain them. The danger is not dramatic. It does not cause immediate illness. It does not send you to the hospital. Instead, it works slowly, silently, and cumulatively. That is why it is so often missed. One of the biggest hidden risks is toxin accumulation, particularly mercury. Mercury is not just a concern for children or pregnant women. It is a potent neurotoxin that directly affects nerve signaling and brain cells. In younger adults, mercury is filtered and removed relatively efficiently. After 60, that process slows. Small exposures that once posed little risk begin to accumulate in tissues over time. This accumulation can contribute to symptoms many seniors experience but rarely connect to diet: subtle memory issues, difficulty concentrating, tingling sensations in the hands or feet, persistent fatigue, and even changes in mood or anxiety levels. None of these symptoms feel dramatic on their own, but together they reduce quality of life. Then there is the issue of modern fish farming. Many fish available today are not raised in natural conditions. They are grown quickly in crowded environments, often treated with antibiotics and chemicals to control disease. These substances do not disappear when fish is cooked. Instead, they add stress to systems that are already working harder with age. For seniors, whose immune systems are less flexible and whose gut bacteria are more fragile, this matters deeply. Antibiotic residues can disrupt digestion. Chemical contaminants can place additional burden on the liver. Over time, this can worsen inflammation and weaken resilience. Another overlooked problem is fat composition. Fish is celebrated for omega-3 fatty acids, and rightly so. Omega-3s reduce inflammation, support brain health, and protect the cardiovascular system. But not all fish provide meaningful amounts of these fats. Some popular fish contain very little omega-3 and disproportionately high levels of omega-6 fats, which promote inflammation. Inflammation is not just about joint pain. Chronic inflammation contributes to arterial stiffness, cognitive decline, insulin resistance, and accelerated aging. For seniors already managing these challenges, eating fish with poor fat balance sends the wrong message to the body. And here is what makes this problem particularly dangerous. Many of the fish that create these risks are marketed as healthy. They are affordable, widely available, mild in flavor, and easy to prepare. They appear on plates again and again, reinforcing the belief that the body is being supported, when in reality, it may be quietly strained. After 60, the margin for nutritional error becomes smaller. The body no longer recovers as quickly from repeated low-level stress. This means food choices must become more intentional. The goal is no longer just eating healthy. The goal is avoiding hidden harm while choosing foods that actively protect aging systems. Fish can still be a powerful ally for longevity, but only when chosen wisely. In the next part, we will remove the confusion. We will clearly separate the fish that undermine senior health from the fish that genuinely protect the brain, heart, and nervous system. This is not about fear or restriction. It is about precision, clarity, and giving your body what it actually needs at this stage of life. Once you understand why fish choices matter more after 60, the next step is clarity. Confusion leads to hesitation, and hesitation often leads people back to familiar habits. But with the right information, decisions become simple and empowering. Let's begin by addressing the fish that create the most risk for seniors. The first category includes large, long-lived predatory fish consumed frequently. These fish naturally accumulate higher levels of mercury over time. For seniors, regular consumption increases the likelihood of mercury buildup in the body. This does not mean these fish are inherently poisonous, but frequency matters. What might be tolerable occasionally becomes problematic when eaten weekly or several times per week. The second category includes industrially farmed fish raised under poor standards. These fish are often treated with antibiotics and raised on unnatural diets. The result is a product that places extra strain on the liver and digestive system. For seniors whose detoxification capacity is reduced, this added burden can contribute to fatigue, inflammation, and gut imbalance. Another category includes fish with poor omega-3 to omega-6 balance. These fish are often chosen because they are mild and inexpensive, but nutritionally, they offer little protection. Instead of calming inflammation, they may subtly worsen it. Over time, this can aggravate joint stiffness, cardiovascular strain, and cognitive aging. Finally, poorly processed fish products deserve attention. Canned fish packed in low-quality oils or excessive sodium turns a potentially healthy food into an inflammatory one. Seniors should be especially cautious with processed options, as sodium and oxidized oils directly affect blood pressure and vascular health. Now, let's focus on what truly helps. The safest and most beneficial fish for seniors tend to share a few characteristics. They are smaller, which means they accumulate fewer toxins. They are often wild-caught, which means they retain a natural nutrient profile. And they provide meaningful amounts of omega-3 fats without overwhelming the body. Small fish are particularly valuable after 60. Because they sit lower on the food chain, they carry minimal toxin load. At the same time, they deliver omega-3s that support brain clarity, heart rhythm, and reduced inflammation. These fish offer benefit without risk when eaten regularly. Wild-caught fatty fish also play an important role. They are rich in EPA and DHA, the omega-3 fats most strongly associated with cognitive protection and cardiovascular health. These fats support nerve signaling, reduce vascular inflammation, and help maintain mental sharpness. For seniors concerned about memory and heart health, these fish are powerful allies. Another often overlooked benefit of certain fish is their contribution to vitamin D intake. Vitamin D deficiency is extremely common after 60 and is linked to weak bones, immune decline, and mood changes. Fish that naturally contain vitamin D provide general nutritional support without supplementation. Digestibility also matters more with age. Lighter fish that are easy to digest provide high-quality protein without taxing the stomach. Maintaining muscle mass is critical for longevity, balance, and independence. Choosing fish that support protein intake without digestive stress helps preserve strength as the body ages. Preparation is the final piece of the puzzle. Even the best fish can lose its benefits if cooked incorrectly. High-heat frying damages omega-3 fats and introduces inflammatory compounds. Gentle methods, baking, steaming, poaching, or light pan searing, preserve nutrients and are easier on digestion. Canned fish should always be drained and rinsed to reduce sodium. Adding acidic elements like lemon juice or vinegar improves mineral absorption and supports digestion, allowing the body to extract more benefit from each meal. The larger message is simple but powerful. After 60, food becomes information. Each meal tells the body whether to repair or inflame, to protect or strain. Fish can send a protective message, or a harmful one, depending entirely on the choice. When seniors understand this distinction, fear disappears. What remains is control, and that control supports longevity, clarity, and strength. Once you know which fish to avoid and which to embrace, your plate becomes a tool, not a risk.